My name's Leo Geisler.
And I'm Edward Funkhouser.
And we are going to be representing Madison Country Day School for the Global Youth Investment Summit, and we'll be pitching Duolingo as a buy.
Duolingo is a language learning software, and it's the largest online education software in the world. Their stats have shown consistent user growth, with their paid subscribers being up 43% year over year, free cash flow being up 84%, and revenue being up 41%. They operate with a freemium subscription model, which means they give access to all their basic features to all their customers for free, while reserving premium features for their paying customers. They use a gamified learning approach, which appeals to kids and children in schools, which is part of the reason why it has such a large reach.
Why we think Duolingo will be doing so well as a stock over the next few years is because Duolingo is a very cash-generative business, which I will get into more later in the presentation. Also, Duolingo is a very gamified approach. This targets children and is why it's seen a lot in schools and it adheres very well to younger students. But mainly, Duolingo has constant innovation and creates constant innovation in the sector of online language education. First, the English proficiency test. Duolingo sells this to universities and high schools worldwide for non-English speaking students to admit them into school. Second, Duo's Treehouse. This is a very new feature that Duolingo added. This is an in-person education office in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it teaches kids how to speak Spanish. And this is something that Duolingo has said that they want to increase and keep making for places all around America and all around the world. Lastly, Duolingo Max, which is the highest tier of the Duolingo subscription. Duolingo Max has features with ChatGPT 4.0. This includes features of AI roleplay, AI video call, and explain my answer. Lastly, Duolingo holds 58% of the market share in online language education and shows how as the sector continues to grow, Duolingo will profit the most from it.
Nearly 3/4 of Duolingo's revenue comes from their two-tiered subscription plan, which includes features like Atlas Learning, Unlimited Hearts, and AI Video Call, among many others. 12% of their revenue comes from advertisements. These are primarily ads that are shown to users at the end of every lesson. Finally, Duolingo English Test that Leo just mentioned is an affordable alternative to TOEFL or IELTS. It is an English test for non-native speakers to gain citizenship or gain entrance to schools. Finally, there's another 5%, which consists of various different smaller things, such as in-app purchases and the company's branded merchandise. Their revenue in 2024 was $748 million, and they project this is going to reach $900 million in the fiscal year of 2025.
The competitive rivalry of Duolingo is relatively high because of the many companies that also offer online language education. This sector is a very competitive one, and though Duolingo leads it, there is a high threat of rivalry entrants, and it would not be too difficult. Bargaining power of customers was also, we rated as low. Though Duolingo has a freemium business model, there are different levels of premium service offered. There are only 2 different levels of this premium service. That is pretty hard to bargain with as a customer. The threat of substitutes was low because Duolingo is the only platform to offer free online language education, which is pretty hard to beat. Bargaining power of suppliers is medium because we thought that the people who work for Duolingo are linguists and translators. These jobs are pretty uncommon and they would be relatively difficult to replace.
Duolingo Max, which, as Leo mentioned, is their most expensive subscription option at $29.99. But this includes features like AI Video Call, which allow you to chat with a generative AI bot in a different language, and AI Roleplay, which allows you to roleplay real-life situations in the target language, which helps boost the usability of the language that you learn on Duolingo. Duolingo Max is powered by OpenAI's ChatGPT 4.0 generative artificial intelligence program, and in the future, they hope to use this partnership to create personalized features like customized lessons.
Environmentally, Duolingo has a very minimal impact on the environment as a digital company, and they have a very sustainable use of property by signing long leases in larger offices. Socially, Duolingo makes a lot of donations to local communities that support to engage younger children with learning new languages around the world. Governance, the CEO, Louis von Ahn, founded the company in 2011, and the board of directors, it consists of workers from Microsoft and Intel.
Some risks to the recommendation is that AI competition could pose a risk to the stock price, as Duolingo's AI features such as video call and roleplay could try to be replicated with OpenAI's ChatGPT. Also, user engagement may also pose a risk, as Duolingo's retention strategies of notifications and social media posts may lose effectiveness over time. Finally, Duolingo's freemium business model risks losing customers if their free plan becomes limited or their paid plan is not as enticing as it was before.
Duolingo has grown 31% over the past year compared to the Russell 1000 growth ETF that has only grown by 7%. This shows how Duolingo has been a very profitable company over the past year and very highly outperforms growth ETFs in the markets in general. This is why we think Duolingo would be a very good company, and because it will continue to see results such as these.
We completed a discounted cash flow analysis for Duolingo stock, and to do so we had to assume a few values. Firstly was that the Duolingo's revenue would continue growing at a 25% compound annual growth rate. Also that their free cash flow margins would remain around 30%. We also assumed a discount rate of 12% and a terminal value multiple of 32. The reason we did this is because Duolingo has shown consistently strong earnings growth in the past, and their revenue is growing faster than expenses, which will allow them to retain this free cash flow margin. There's also a very optimistic Wall Street outlook around the stock, and the company will continue to strive for innovation and development. The takeaway from this is that the DCF put the target price of Duolingo at $416, which is a 36% upside from the $306 point that it's at right now. This shows that Duolingo stock is highly undervalued and affirms all the points that we've made so far.
Duolingo has a very high cash and revenue income, and this has especially grown over the past 4 years. First off, revenue has went from $250 million all the way to $750 million since 2021, showing a very high increase in healthy growth. The free cash flow started at $12 million and is now at $274 million, which is around a 2,000% increase from 2021. Next, we see that Duolingo is an increasingly profitable company, as in 2021, Duolingo was losing money per share compared to now, where their EPS is at around $2. Next, the margins of free cash flow and EBITDA started out in 2021 in the low single digits and are now in the 30s and 20s, respectively. Lastly, Duolingo has strong user engagement growth. In the past 4 years, the daily and monthly active users have quadrupled, and this also drives the subscription bookings to increase by around 500 million.
To recap, Duolingo is a very cash-generative business, with their revenues in the past 4 years growing far faster than their expenses. They've also shown strong financial and user growth, with their users quadrupling, as Leo said, in the past 4 years. They use this large cash pile that they can generate to do constant innovation and research, which puts them a level up compared to their competitors. Financial data from Duolingo also indicates that Duolingo is undervalued. Duolingo stock price reflects this in a 42% increase in the last 12 months. Finally, we believe it will go up even more because of the discounted cash flow analysis, implying a 36.1% upside for price growth. And with a commanding 58% market share in language education and 25% compound annual growth rate, Duolingo will have no problem continuing to dominate the space.
Thank you.